feel like I'm in a twilight zone. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I see shit, and other people see it too. Just not a lot of us. I'm gonna try to make it like I'm something special, motherfucker. Nah, other people see this too. It's just a fear of us, though. They really see the lies and the deception. Let me just say that. That's how I feel most of the time. Like I'm in a fucking twilight zone, and why can't people see the bullshit? Like, I can understand why white people trust the government. I can understand that they've been conditioned to, and they've always reaped the benefit of whatever bullshit the government had going on. So I see why they believe in the government and everything they say. I see that. I understand. Even though all of them haven't been fooled with all of the privilege that went along with going along with the scheme and the scam and the schism, they still didn't get everybody convinced, you know, because some people, they long to have a spirit and a soul and a connection with the Creator. All right, now that I got that out the way, it's kind of like a disclaimer for myself. Let me get down to the real shit here. And this ain't no shit that got nothing to do with men or women in particularly, but you might find that it might be a lot more women that are materialistic. So, and that might lead a man into being materialistic too. Because a nigga will fuck you in a cardboard box if he could. All of the shit he wear, dress, and ride is usually for women. So, but everybody should know that already. But, shit tastes good. But what people don't know is this. Let me give you a little background on it, on me and my dealing with it. I studied the Black Bible. I studied the Necronomicon. I dabbled in what some might call witchcraft, Satanism. Yes, I've studied. Doesn't mean that I gave my life up or a soul up or any of that bullshit that people believe. It just means I was searching for knowledge, and this was a place, or one of the last places that I hadn't looked. And when you're the type of person that just want the knowledge, you don't care about the backstory or who it is or how it came to be. You just want the knowledge. And that was the last place I looked, was in mysticism, in spiritualism, or whatever they want to call it. I dabbled, okay? Not saying I know all the spells and all of the laws and all of that. I forgot most of it. The shit that was important that stuck out to me, I kept. But let me tell y'all this. Satan likes to do this thing he called in plain sight, where he will have a motherfucker so bamboozled, right, that he could put the truth right in front of them in plain sight, and they still wouldn't recognize it. This is one of his things that he likes to do. Well, some might think he does it to test or taunt. But what he really does it for is to gauge. To gauge how far gone are you. Because he's just a tester. He's trying to figure something out. He's trying to find something out about humans. And what he has done today is put the lie everywhere, but the truth is still in plain sight. He put the truth right in your face. But if you blinded by the lies and the light, then you won't even see the truth right in front of you. And that's what is going on in the world today. Say put shit right in front of people, and they don't recognize it because they so far gone and fucked up in the mind. I want to say this too. Not only is materialism a form of Satan worship, right? Materialism, worshiping material, always caring about what you're driving and how somebody sees you and what you're wearing and what you know, and how shit look, and you pay more attention to material shit and you care more about material shit than you do people. And you don't really focus on spirituality. You just focus on the material world, finances and shit like that, money, right? That is a form of Satan worship. Satan is the master of material. Let me say that again. Satan is the master of material. So if you love material more than you love everything else, then you are a Satan worshiper. Let me just let you know. Everybody should know my history with this shit. I dabbled. I went to a place where a lot wouldn't even go. A lot of you wouldn't go to the places I've went spiritually. A lot of you don't have the courage or the heart to do it. And a lot of people don't have the courage and the heart to do what I've done. When I went to that side of spirituality, a lot of people thought I lost my mind. But I was doing it for the knowledge. I wasn't doing it because I hated God. I was doing it for the knowledge. Once I got this knowledge, then I found out something. It's the same knowledge that these motherfuckers been using against us all this time. They took it away from us, made us think it was evil, and then they've been using this same knowledge against us. These people who run this government are not Christians. Let me say that. The people who run this government, the people who like make the shit the way it is, they are not Christians. They tell you they Christians. They swear on the Bible when they make these fake ass laws. But that's why they're able to do it, because they don't believe in that shit. They make you believe in it. In this world, you have to think it was nothing at first. So all that was here is what the Creator created. All that was here was what the Creator had done, right? So really Satan, or the spirit of evil, had no stake in this world, right? Because everything was just the way God had put it. There was no structures. There was no buildings. There was no vehicles. There were no tools. It was just what God put here, right? But Satan figured something out. He figured out that we can be, since we are beings that are really controlled by what we see, hear, taste, and feel, he knew that if he created something out of what God created, or what the Creator created, that he could get our attention. And once he got our attention, if he was slick enough and smart enough, he could control us. So take us away from what God intended us to explore and experience, to focus on what his plan was, to prove that we're not worthy of any type of spiritual inheritance. This is what Satan is doing. He's proving every motherfucker who's not worthy of inheriting a spiritual world or a spiritual life, or to be in the presence of the Creator. Do you know you haven't been in the presence of the Creator the way that Satan has? So he knows what being in the presence of the Creator is. You don't. That's why he's so determined to prove that you're not worthy of it. Okay. Now, people say, well, damn, Coach, you got material shit. You got clothes. You got cars. You got shit, right, that you spent money on that you could have donated and blah, 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 and did all this shit. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't claim to be holier than thou. I have weaknesses too and shit that I like too, but this is the thing. You love it. I don't. It could leave because it's left before. I've had nice shit all my life. I've had Well, most of my life, since I've been getting my own shit, I've been able to get nice shit. I've been able to get a nice car. I've been able to get nice looking women. I've been able to get nice looking clothes. I've been able to get jewelry. I've been able to get all of this shit. The difference between me is I saw it leave. I saw it disappear. I saw cars fuck up. I saw cars get crashed. I saw jewelry get stolen. I saw this. So the difference between me having material and maybe somebody else is that I don't fiend for it. I don't put it before motherfuckers I love. Right? Because they can break down. Those cars out there can break down. You know, thank the creator that gray motherfucker took me from here to the moon and back, the most reliable car I ever had. It's still sitting out there in the yard right now. I just went and got 2 other ones. I don't care about material in the way that some people do. I like it. I don't love it because it can't love me back. Right? It's okay to like something, but you should only love what loves you back, what returns the energy, what reciprocates the energy. So, I don't love material shit. And that's why I think I've been able to achieve it and get it a lot faster or better or whatever. Once I stopped really giving a fuck about it, don't you know I drove the same car ever since my mother died? I've drove the same car. This last year, 2020, that was my first getting them. I drove the same car around. Because I didn't give a fuck what people thought. My car wasn't fucked up or nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was old. It was getting worn. It was wearing. It was getting fucked up, but that's why I got new ones. I didn't get new ones because I saw other people driving new cars and shining and doing. I didn't do it for that. I didn't care. I was happy for them. I'm happy for you. That's just not where my passion lies. But when it came a time where I said, well, I gotta let this car rest because this car done did so much for me, it'd just be wrong for me to run it into the fucking ground. That'd just be wrong. So I said, well, okay, before I'm gonna ride it until it's unsafe for me to do something like this motherfucker might, pull it. And it's still rideable right now, the battery dead, but it's still drivable. And let me tell you something. If I lost all of them, I'd drive a Pinto until I got to get the car I wanted, and I wouldn't give a fuck what nobody had to say about it. That is a gift. To not be under the control of Satan's material. See, that's how Satan controls people too. Okay? He gets you to worshiping the material. The material is not going to last. The car is not going to last. They have a 1980-something Lamborghini somewhere sitting up. And in 1980, the motherfucker who got that car thought it was the shit. But guess what? Nothing lasts and nothing stays new. Nothing stays new. New is a temporary word. Everybody want the new shit, but new is temporary. You don't want the tried and true shit, the tested shit, the reliable shit. You want the new shit, no matter how unreliable it is. I can tell you this about dealing with Satan. You will never rest. You will never get a fucking wink of sleep or rest or have a clear conscience at all when you deal with him. He is about the love of anything that's not natural. He is about taking you away from anything that the Creator has put forth for you. He's going to prove that you don't really want to be with God. You want to be with the way He's made things. And I'm going to ask this question, and then I'm going to move on. How many of you worship material shit and feel like you need it to go on in your day-to-day life? How many of you could just wake up right now like I am with some jogging pants you slept in, and these are the motherfuckers, these like my jogging pants I wear out and shit, but I just slept in them because I was tired and I feel like taking them off, and I slept in the motherfuckers, right? Because I don't care. And I will leave and go out this fucking house right now, go to the store, go do whatever the fuck I gotta do, if I want to. Now, if I want to look presentable and I want to put some clothes on and make me feel a certain kind of way, then okay, it's fine too. But it's not a need. It's not a need. It's at best a want. A lot of you motherfuckers have a material need when you should never have a material need. You should only have material wants. Material ain't need. You don't need material shit. All this shit was created by men who benefited from Satan and being evil. Look up any of the people that started the industrial boom, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. Look at their history. Look at what they did. Look at the shit they did, the people that they killed, the people that they were responsible for ruining their lives. Look how many of them it was. These people who made this shit the way it is today in this country benefited off the way Satan does things. All right? And they know Satan way better than you do because they had you sitting up here thinking you was a Christian while they were doing the real work. The real work is taking over and controlling this whole entire fucking thing. Nobody in the history of this shit ever prayed their way out of it. That's one thing you won't do. You won't pray your way out of it because it's too many of them. Let me tell y'all that too. They're not your allies. You are unwilling participants in their shit. You're not their allies. You're unwilling and unknowing participants in their game. And until you know the game and until you understand them, see, the key to this shit is not just not doing what they want you to do. That's not really the key. That's a mechanism that can help you, but that's not the basis of what needs to be done. Oh, let me cut this off. I didn't even realize it was on because I fucking just had it playing all when I wake up in the morning. I didn't even realize it was still going. Damn. Okay. But what people don't understand is that this is a mechanism. And it has worked for so long that they got cocky and they didn't think that, you know, an average person, what they would think is an average person, could achieve the level of understanding inside of mysticism like I have, like others have, without going through their ranks, without going through their bullshit to have it as a title. And for somebody to tell them, hey, you're a 33 degree this and you're a 35 degree that and you're this and you're that. You're an aristocrat, whatever, you know. They use Satan, and only till recently have they gave him his credit due for all of it. They took credit for something that they didn't create. They took credit for a system that they did not create. It was given to them. The blueprint was given. They didn't create it. When you have been dealing with Satan for a long time in the capacity that these people have, there is no room for no backdooring and backstabbing and trying to be slicker than the master. What they've done is they've gone beyond what they had to do to survive. And Satan ain't with that shit. What people don't know, it's a separate war going on too. A war between them and they master. See, they double-crossed they master. Some people wouldn't understand it. They double-crossed them. We just disobeyed our creator. We just disobeyed him, and he abandoned us, or he turned his back. He didn't abandon because his presence will always be here. But whether he communicates with you or the creator communicates with you, now that's a different story. He can hear you, but whether he answers you is a totally different motherfucking thing. I've been lucky enough to have answers come to me. I love the creator, and it's not because I don't have a choice, it's because I understand him. I understand it. Don't mean I'm still not a human. I'm not superhuman or nothing. You know, in the sense that you might think I ain't got no mystical, magical powers or nothing behind it. Just got to understand it. Still here in the body. Still got to deal with this being a human shit. But that, I'm getting a little off course, but it all ties back into the same thing. You have to, if you're going to indulge in this life and you're going to be a materialistic person and you're going to put spirituality second, you're going to put love and care and consideration second, right? At least know who you're dealing with. How can you motherfuckers not know Satan when you worship him all day on TV? With the niggas, you flaunt his materials more than anybody does. Well, no. You do it a lot. I ain't gonna say more than anybody, but you do it a lot. But this is the thing. When other people do it, they're not the oppressed, poorest people on the planet. When we do it, we look dumb because we're the most oppressed people on the planet. So if a nigga got $100 million contract and he went and bought a bunch of cars and shit and he ain't help his people, that's the fucking problem. Now, either you with God, because every time I see somebody, you know, saying something, they say they thanking God, they giving God the glory and all this shit. But what you doing with what God bestowed upon you? How you helping somebody? Are you helping somebody with what you know and what you learned? Are you helping with somebody with what you earned? See, that's the only thing. You can only help people through what you've earned and what you've learned. So if you earned it and God allowed you to do that and you giving him the glory, then why ain't you sharing it? If God bestowed wisdom upon me and knowledge upon me, why wouldn't I fucking share it? Why would I keep it to myself? So, what I'm saying is this. I don't claim to be some fucking prophet or something. I don't care about titles, and I don't give a fuck about what people think I am. If you think I'm something special, thank you. It has shit to do with what I am, because only the Creator can determine that. I just know I see shit in a certain way. The thing about it is, if you choose an extreme, you've lost. You have people who are so pro-black they can be wrong most of the time. And you have some people who are so pro-government that they can be wrong most of the time because the government lies. And if you're the type of person like a Candace Owens who totally is biased towards the side of the government, then you can mathematically be wrong most of the time because nobody's telling you the truth all of the time. So if you wholeheartedly trust anybody or any side of things, then you're going to be wrong because nobody's always right. No side is always right. So even if you're the type of person like maybe like a Killer Mike, and you could never agree with anything that the other side had to say, right? Then maybe you're going to be wrong some of the time too. Even if you just have an open mind. But if you totally biased towards something just because, there you go. You caught in the trap. That's why these people will never be correct. That's why these people will never, ever be totally righteous. Because when you have things like bias, when you're materialistic, when you basically self-serving, egotistical, all these things are of Satan. You have this fucking, fake confidence about you. You're not humble. Nobody wants to humble themselves to say, hey, maybe I'm wrong. I give a fuck about being wrong. If somebody told me I was wrong and it led me to the truth, why would I dwell on the fact that you told me I was wrong? I don't give a fuck about that. Tell me I'm wrong, please. If you have a more logical side of something, and it's more logical than what the fuck I'm thinking or saying, please tell me. I don't give a fuck about being wrong. I do my due diligence. I study shit. I look it up. Before I speak on shit, I like to have an in-depth knowledge of it. But even in that, I didn't lay the framework for this shit. So yes, it could be some lies purposely put in places that I maybe fell for. But I know, but see, that's the thing. I have logic and wisdom and knowledge. And I use 50% of it. And the other 50% is my spirit. And I use that. And I let that coincide with the knowledge and the wisdom and the information. And then I let my spirit come in and have a say too. You gotta let your spirit be involved. That's what's wrong with a lot of you motherfuckers. That's why you're being controlled right now and don't know it, because you don't let your spirit be involved in shit. And you can't be all high all day and doped up all day and expect your spirit to shine through. That's why I get out and I do shit in the day, and I like to at least do something. Like I've been exercising inside now because it's a little cold. But when I get through doing this live, I'm gonna exercise, and I plan to keep doing this shit, and get myself back in shape. Everybody falls off, everybody slips. It's about correcting yourself. It's like, it seems like people don't want to have accountability. People just don't want to have any accountability no more. You don't want to hold yourself accountable. Even if you're doing bullshit, hold yourself accountable. No, it's a fucking risk. I know it's a risk to the bullshit I do. I do. But when I decided whether I want to be fucked up, depend on people, ask people for shit, I said, no, I'd rather take a risk. And that's what most men do. Before they ask somebody for something, because they know how people are. I ain't got nobody I know that'll really help me. Don't nobody really want to help nobody. I don't look, everybody wrapped up in the materialism and the selfishness. So I know that Satan has most of my family and most of my friends. And I know that they're not going to really care about me outside of their material world and them and what they have in it. So I don't expect it from them. And I'm not mad at them for it, because I know that this shit is so powerful. I couldn't be mad at them for falling victim to it like everybody else, because this shit is so powerful. This being, this entity, this force is so powerful that I don't blame anybody for falling for it. But I'm just telling you, this is how you can recognize it. And this is how you can get ahead of it or outside of it so it don't affect you anymore. And that's all I'm saying. Don't let it affect you anymore. You can still witness it and still be around it, but don't let it affect you. Don't let this materialism. Since I got my cars, every time I was going out in the beginning, like something was happening, like hit a bump, somebody hit the car door, hit my car. It was just always something, and I was like, yeah, I know what that is. This is like, yeah, I'm going to test you and see how much and how important this shit is to you. And I found out something. You know how important it is to me? As much as it costed. That's it. And it depreciates every day I drive it. And I understand that. So when I get ready to reciprocate or sell it or whatever, or keep it or whatever, I know what its worth is. See, remember when I said in the beginning of this that none of this shit lasts forever, it all gets old? Every day you get in that car, older, less value. Every day you put on them clothes, older, less value. Now your jewelry, that shit might go up in value depending on if you got diamonds. Now diamonds ain't shit, but if you got some gold or some real, metal, some valuable, precious metals, it may, I don't know. But depending on how the world is, might not be worth shit. So what I'm saying is that if you putting all your money on the material side of shit, you're gonna lose. It's made for you to lose. Like I say, every day I get in my car, I got a later model, but it's got maybe 45,000 miles on it. And the other one that's newer got, I think, approaching 70. Yeah, approaching 70, like at 69. We got it at like 65. We done put like 5,000 on it. It's not worth what we paid for it. And I know that. Not now. Not with the mileage. Still, we could still probably get around the same price because we got a good deal on it. But even with my car, it's older than that one, but they got less mileage. See what I'm saying? Listen, even though it got less mileage, it's older though. But it's older though. See what I'm saying? Even if you take care of it, it's still getting old. It's still going to outdate, or it might appreciate in value depending on what it is. But I'm just saying, if you put your motherfucking money on the material side of shit, it's created for you to lose. You're going to lose family. You're going to lose loved ones. You're going to lose everybody that ever cared about you. And then you're just going to be surrounded by a bunch of material shit that can't love you. You're going to be surrounded by a bunch of material shit that can't love you back. And you're going to be looking at it. And you're going to be looking at the cars. You're going to be looking at the jewelry. You're going to be looking at the clothes. You're going to be looking at all of the shit. And it ain't going to love you. It ain't going to say nothing to you. It ain't going to make you feel better. And you're going to be alone with it. With nobody to give a fuck about you. Because you put it before everybody all the time. You never said, fuck this material. I'm going to do this with it. Fuck that material. I'm going to do this with it. You said, no, I'm going to put it before everybody. Nope, you don't come before this. And that's why I learned something. That in this world, and make no mistake, this is Satan's world. And I'm going to end it like this. In this video. This is Satan's world. Make no fucking mistake. These people are not him. They are a creation of him. They ain't him. He's more like close to us than anything. We're closer to God, and he's closer to God than we are. So we have more in common with him than he has with them, right? But he also knows our natural given power. And if he wanted to come and be the tester and do the things that he needed to do, we could not be in power. It would be too hard of a fight for him. That's why he had to get his own people, a people and a race that would do his bidding without question. That would accept unrighteousness and evil without question. And that's what has happened. That's why I say this is Satan's world. Because not only did he come here, he gathered and got his own people to do his bidding. And as long as Satan has that, right? And this is what happened. I'm going to make it quick in this video. This is Satan's world because when he came in, he created his own people. He brought them out of darkness. And then he gave them the tools to take over the whole world. They did it. And then they implemented his materialism and shit for you to worship. So you didn't worship your spirit no more and your heritage and your family. What you start doing is looking at what they had and what you didn't have. But they didn't naturally get it and you didn't naturally not have it. See, we naturally have power, physical gifts, mental gifts, spiritual gifts, psychic gifts. But they made us not focus on any of that because that's our good attributes. And they made us focus on the attribute that they made up through who created them. The one who gave them their knowledge to take over and do the evil shit they do. This is Satan. And they're carrying out his plan and his way of things, of wanting to do things, even though they've strayed away from what the original plan was. That's why it's different powers rising up and people becoming spiritually enhanced. Because whenever, see, this is the thing, you can't double cross somebody so close to God. And this is what these people see. These people, get out of here, Waz. You can't be in here. Get out of here. What these people didn't realize was this. You can't double cross somebody like Satan. The same power that he gave to you, these dumb motherfuckers think he gave him all their power and taught them everything he know. And that's where they fucked up. And that's how they gonna lose everything they ever fucking gained because it wasn't theirs. He gave it to them. This material world and this motherfucking, this physical shit, he created that. He gave that to them. They're taking credit for it. And in certain places and ways, you can see where they do give him the credit. They do worship. I mean, Satan, if these people were so of God, ask yourself a question. Anybody that might watch this video, ask yourself a question. If this was a Christian nation, a Christian country, ran by Christians, right? If that's what it was, which it's not, but if that's what it was, why would it be even legal to have a church of Satan? Gangs ain't even legal. Gangs cannot legally assemble and do shit. Gangs cannot take out a tax credit. The Crips and the Bloods and the Vice Lords and the GDs cannot take out a fucking tax credit and as a religion or a business, right? So if this is a Christian like nation, right, and Satan is supposed to be the worst force or thing in this country and this planet, right? Why the fuck gangs have more restriction than Satanists. Satanists have a church that is tax exempt. Meaning whatever money or whatever they do and generate, they get to keep it whole. How can the Vatican, which really makes all the laws, how can the Vatican go along with that? Y'all ain't seeing what's going on? Y'all don't see it? If you can't, that's why I say I feel like I'm in the twilight zone most of the time. Because when I'm saying shit, and let me say this too, I ain't making these videos for a lot of, I don't want to be viral. I don't give a fuck about being viral. I just want the people that I love to see it, realize what's going on, and figure out what I'm saying. I just want you to be able to figure it out. I don't give a fuck about nothing as long as the people that I love see this shit. But y'all have to ask yourself these questions. Why would they let this shit go on if they ain't with it? They'll make it illegal. They'll make it illegal to be a Satanist if they wasn't with it. So, what I'm saying is this. A lot of y'all worship Satan. I studied. In some cases, revered and admired that side of things. When I gained a full understanding of it, and I saw what it was, and then I realized it wasn't the enemy. I was the enemy. I'm the enemy. I'm the enemy to myself. Because every decision that's made, I make it. Every choice that's taken, I take it. The real enemy is what you let in. It ain't out there. It ain't some fucking thing. It's what you let in. It's what you allow. We're allowing ourselves to be like this. We're allowing ourselves to be controlled by material trinkets and bullshit. This is what we allow. The real enemy is right here. It's your real enemy. It's your heart. It's what you make important. This just the playing ground. This just the playground, nigga. You choose whether you slide or swing. This is just the playground. You choose whether you partake in it. We've all partaken in it, haven't we? It's just some of us want to be hypocrites about it. You want to praise God and yell and thank God. You ain't never liked God. You've been materialistic your whole fucking life. You put material before your kids. You put material before your family members. You hated your fucking family members because they had material and you didn't. You ain't never been a God hollering at God shit. You don't love the Creator. You never have. You always been about Satan. You always been about Satan worship. You ain't never fucking loved God. Every time he hear you say it, it's like blasphemy. Every time he hear you fucking praise him, it's like fucking burning fucking hot lava in his fucking ears. I'm gonna give y'all the truth, and I'm not sugarcoating shit, because I don't. Life wasn't sugarcoated for me. And it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been. I didn't expect it to be, and it shouldn't have been. This is life. Don't you know somebody had it a lot worse than me? And there's somebody that had it a lot worse than you. When you get all in your fucking feelings thinking why God and why me and poor me and why me. Remember that. There's somebody that had it way worse than you. You probably wouldn't have survived their life. You think God taking time out to give a fuck about that? When he gave you everything you need right here, you causing yourself this turmoil about being involved into Satan's playground. to playing his games, worshiping his materials. Who he give the materials to? Who does he give the most materials to? While all you niggas just just infatuated with it. But who has the most materials? He has you worshiping something that you can't ever be the best at or have the most of. We're the most abused people and we're the poorest, right? And whatever we do, it's always got to be a hustle or some shit because they own everything. Let me explain something to y'all, all right? Because I can say this now because it's over. But, I was working for some real rich people. And they're the ones that paid for my telehandler license. That was like $300 and some, and they paid for it. And taught me how to do it and everything. Know why? Because it wasn't gonna fucking hurt them. They needed somebody who was coherent and smart enough to understand shit and to take the test and pass it. And I just happened to be the motherfucking nigga to do it. Right? But them helping me wasn't going to hurt them. And that's why they did it. Because they needed me. And them helping me wasn't going to hurt. It was going to help them to help me. Right? But you know, we got to talking. Just casual conversating like they like to do. They like to pick your brain. And I like to pick their brain. His father owned the company. And his father owned the company. They handed it down. But not only did they hand it down to son, they let the cousins come in. They let their friends' children come in. So what they did was, his son got a company. His son got a company. Now his son is the head of it because his daddy started it all. But he made bosses and CEOs out of his nephews, his sons, his friends. Helped them create sub-companies up under his one company to make a conglomerate and keep that wealth nice and snug and close. See, his daddy had the foresight not to go buy a bunch of bullshit like a cars and Lamborghinis and shit when his people fucked up and poor. He had the foresight to say, I'm going to make everybody around me a motherfucking boss because I got the money to do it right now. And we going to rule these motherfuckers into the motherfucking future. What you niggas will never, ever fucking do. Because you too wrapped up in Satan's world thinking that you fucking with God. And God don't fuck with you stupid, selfish niggas. God don't fuck with you stupid, selfish motherfucking niggas. He don't fuck with y'all. Y'all fucking with Satan. Get it right. You materialistic bitches. You're fucking with Satan and don't even know it. And I know it. And I know it. I know you fucking with Satan because I know him. I know you fucking with him because I know him. That's enough.